What's up, everyone? I haven't done this in a very long time. I'm probably going to attach this to a podcast that's going to go on. Been a lot of things on my mind, and I feel like I have mentioned not what things are, but I think I've let it be known that there are things on my mind. I feel like I need to record, to do something a little bit different, to kick this one off. Maybe I'll do this a little more often. These as a little intro to whatever podcast is coming up. Or I've been wanting to do vlogs again, and the biggest stump in my head is the actual story to tell. I don't know when I'm gonna attach this specific little video, but I know I'm gonna do it on today's September 30th. To finish my point, today's September 30th. So it marks the anniversary of a Navy SEAL that died in a parachute accident. His name was Seth Stone. I shared it on my Twitter, I shared it on Instagram via Jocko. The excerpt that I'm using is from Jocko 160. Yes, it's cut and spliced in certain ways. Just so certain points will be driven across. So some points will be driven through the podcast episode, through my podcast episode as I'm listening and giving whatever thoughts I have as you listen. And if you want, I'll have the podcast link in the show notes for the podcast. It's like a 40-minute intro before he goes into the Q&A and stuff. And I hadn't listened to it in a few months, but re-listening to it today is like, yeah, I mean, there's certain things that are just more important. What's important in life and doing things that we enjoy. I think that's been one of my themes lately is you have to enjoy what you're doing. It should almost be mandatory. It should be mandatory to enjoy what you're doing. Yes, you have ups and downs in that, but those ups and downs are worth. They're worth doing. They're worth going through because they're overall picture of whatever it is you're doing. If you like cooking, if you like cleaning, or like you like fixing cars, whatever it may be, you like helping people, or healthcare workers out there. So yeah, let's get into the episode.
This is Jocko Podcast number 160 with Echo Charles and me, Jocko Willink. Good evening, Echo.
Good evening.
October. I'm gonna head your way and see you today. Though sometimes I wonder why I should. Sometimes you don't seem to care. And that makes me mad, brother. And then when I see you, it doesn't really make me feel any better. Should it? Is that what this is for? It doesn't seem to be. It actually just makes me remember the way things used to be. Better times. It makes me wonder why things turned out this way. What did I do wrong? Should I have done something different? What could I have said? You never let me down. Ever. But now you won't even talk to me. I was looking at some of the things you wrote to me in the past. I opened up an email. In it, you wrote, "I feel it again, washing over me." The descent into degeneration and disintegration, the smell of filth, black water mixed with blood and gunpowder and shit. The American soldier covered in filth, 11 months into a 16-month deployment. The insurgents, grown men hiding behind children. Women wailing over the dead, explosions and screams and fragments of concrete flying through the air. and frogmen enter the scene to take the hand of the American. We redden the stripes, blue the field, and make the stars of our tattered and humiliated battle ensign shine once again. We hold it high. We carry a nation on our shoulders, and we bring the enemy to its knees. We do not live in fear of death or wounding or even worse, rejection by the country we love. I feel my mind coming apart and the old sleeping animal coming out. I tried to keep it inside, but it cannot help but attend the call to battle. I was surfing the other day. It was one of those days, a good day. Solid swell, no wind, tide was low and the sky was clear and bright. I kept looking out, toward the outside, where you used to sit and wait for the big set waves. I thought I saw you a couple times, but it wasn't you. I heard someone paddling behind me. Must be you, I thought. No. Nothing. No one's there. I'm all alone out here. Everything is the same, but nothing is the same. Everything has changed, but nothing has changed. Does anything ever change? Look at the waves as they approach the shore. Each wave formed through random combinations of wind and sea and pressure, and each one completely unique. And when they break, they're gone forever. But then another one comes behind it, and another one. They are all different, but they're all the same. And I see some of the past in the future, and I see some of the future in the past, and I begin to wonder which is which. How did I get here? Where am I going to end up? Where are you? I look at some more of your writing. You are telling a story, writing a story about a man, about God, about life, about death. And this is what you wrote. I am ready to go, he thought to himself. But for you, I wait for the appointed time. Thy will, he said to himself, and closed his eyes and placed his hands on the pages as if there was some strength there, and he prayed. While he prayed, he also thought of past times. He breathed in deep and exhaled. Deliver us from the evil one, he muttered. And he thought of all the reasons he had no right to say this prayer. At that, he steadied himself, opened his eyes, and looked out into the first light of the morning. He saw a face not his own looking back at him from the window and disappear. But he was not startled. This kind of thing was normal. I'm ready for you, he thought to himself. While he ran that morning, he did not think about anything. His mind retreated deep into itself, or perhaps it shut down altogether, and he wore no expression. He only looked out at the sea and watched as the seabirds glided above the undulating plain of water, moving close above its surface, but managing somehow not to touch it. At home, he heaved weights around on a small concrete slab. His routine effortlessly recited and at the same time painfully undertaken again, without thought or care. Every morning the same, marking off time until an appointed end, his final rendezvous. Is that what we are doing here? Marking off time until an appointed end? My memory plays tricks on me. How many days do I remember? How many days do I actually remember? And what good is a day that I can't remember? Did it happen? Did it exist? I want to remember every day, but I can't. I let some of them go. And I hate that. I want to remember and re-remember the times we had together. We played songs on the guitar. But I can't hear them anymore. They are gone. I can't recreate them. I'm not good enough. Can we play them again? One more song. Here is some more of your writing. I am God's messenger. I am a chieftain of Michael, the angel. He has granted my request to help you, for it is you who are doing the bidding of the king. We have heard your many prayers. They burn before us day and night. Yes, heaven is full of the fragrance of your prayers. And I bring glad tidings from the Lord of Lords. He is preparing his mount to ride here. But there is still more to be done on earth before he wields his scythe and sword upon it. I bring a message. The Lord of Lords wants to help you reap the spirits against whom you are warring. Indeed, Satan has asked to have you, but we will not let that happen. Of course, you always have a choice. I have come a long way, though. I came when we heard your last prayer. You will not be turned. When I read that, it seems obvious. Even God was on your side. But if God was on your side, how did you end up like this then? How could you do this to me? What about me? Yeah, I know. I'm being selfish, but what about me? You know what? I'm not going to see you today. You can wait. After everything I did for you, after everything we went through together, you can wait. Pride myself in keeping control of my emotions, but I got to admit, you had me breaking down a little bit for a while. You see that? You're probably laughing at me. So I'm going to come up and see you today. Is that cool? I mean, it's supposed to be cool. If nothing else, just to say goodbye. I'll bring you a beer or two. I don't even drink anymore. But you know what? If you'll crack one open with me, I'll have one with you. Like old times. What happened to those times? We were brothers. And when we came home, we knew we made it. We made it, man. As crazy it seems, I was actually never that worried about you. Maybe you were blessed. Maybe you were lucky. Maybe it was both. But whatever it was, it worked. You even wrote to me during your next deployment. This is what you wrote. All I interject is my part, the firing and yelling part. But the bullets do not hit me. They never hit me. They pass through me like a miracle. 2 days ago, we drove through a village and knocked all the power lines down. And it was night, and the sparks were like incoming RPGs. February. It's a new year. Let's try this again. Time heals all wounds, they say, so we should be good now, right? I should be over it all by now. I'll come see you, and at a minimum, say goodbye. Just say goodbye. Just tell you that's it. No hard feelings. Don't take it personally. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and proceed on down the path without you. Alone. And I'm used to being alone. No big deal. I kind of like it. But even I have to admit it was nice. Nice to have someone to talk to. Nice to have someone to talk to without even talking. A look, a nod, a smile. No one is smiling back anymore. No one. Sometimes I look up at the night sky. That can approximate a smile. I see a smile in the sunset. I don't know why. I try to milk what I can out of every day. I should be cursing the sunset. That sunset means another day is gone. I should be cursing it, but I don't. I take a few minutes when I can, and I watch it. Good night, Al Huey. Good night, Chesty. Good night, Stoner. Maybe there's some relief that the day is gone. Is that it? That part of the race is over and there isn't a damn thing I can do about it. When my oldest daughter was little, we would watch the sunset over the ocean when we'd get the chance. And she was at that age when she was only just starting to talk. She could just say a handful of words. When she wanted a drink of milk, she would say, "Noke." When she wanted to go on the swing, she would say, "Ving." When I would throw her up in the air and catch her, she would laugh and she would giggle and she would say the word "again." And she and I were sitting on the seawall. It was autumn and the sun was leaning towards the south, and we watched and she watched the colors in the sky, red and yellow and orange like fire, and the water ignited. Then it turned black and the sun disappeared into the ocean, and she looked up at me and she said, "Again." She wanted it back, but I couldn't do anything for her. I was powerless. I still am. I can't stop the clock, and I can't bring back a day. Not one single day, not one single minute. You get what you get. And that sunset will keep a man's ego in check, especially when your complete lack of control disappoints the little angel sitting on your knee. And I can't control this situation either. And that stings. And I don't want to face that. I don't want to say goodbye. That can wait. You can wait. The good thing you wrote. What am I supposed to do with that? You set me up, with thoughts of the good thing. Because there we were. We were headed in the right direction toward the good things. When you listen to me, things worked out always. Right? You know it. When you listen to me and you put your damn heart in check, things worked out. It's your problem. You listen to your heart too much. You know this. Let your emotions get a hold of you. You know it's true. I told you 1,000 times, 10,000 times. And you tried to listen. And you did listen sometimes. But your heart couldn't be completely subdued. It was too strong. Too strong for its own good. And yeah, I know that's what makes you, you. Fine. But you should have listened to me. You should have listened. And now I am here and you are there, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm powerless. July. Full-fledged summer now. Campfires and guitar on the regular. Where are you at? And let me ask you something. If you aren't going to come around, then can you just let me be? I don't want you in my head right now. I don't want to get dragged back every time I strum a chord. I remember. We were traveling up the coast, you and me. Lazy days. Surfing by day. Playing on the git boxes at night. We were looking for bigger waves. The kind of waves that get the blood flowing. We found some. But what were we really looking for? You know as well as I. We were looking for that thing. That moment. That moment when nothing else matters. That moment that is sourced directly from the battlefield. Hard to find anywhere else. So we try and get close to it. Jiu-jitsu, surfing, whatever, but it's hard to replace. Maybe it can't be replaced. Maybe it just is what it is. I think I understood that. I'm not sure you did. I was able to rationalize it, figure it out, detach from it, see it from the outside. Before that trip up the coast, you had written me these words. Send us. We are thirsty for screams and gore and hell and dirt and shit. We will hack our way through scores of bodies, form them up in a pile, and burn them so we can kill by the pyre light. Somebody spread the good news that the killer's teeth are sharp and their guns are clean and their souls are dead, so no one needs anything but victory and sacred deference when it is done. You see, that was your heart talking again. The same heart that wrapped around a girl you met. The same heart that brought my kids birthday presents. The same heart that was broken by the loss of our friends. A heart capable of both devotion and destruction. I told you to let it all go. I told you. But I can't control everything. I'm still powerless. September. A year has passed. Or was it yesterday? Time seems like a trick, but the trick is on me because it's no trick at all. Time does not waver. It does not relinquish. It isn't tricky. It just is. And it is moving on without judgment and without mercy, and it will keep moving. I am coming up to see you today. I have to. I have to say goodbye. I can't do it like this anymore, carrying you around in my head. Bringing back the past so often that it's interfering with the present and the future, that's not right. That wasn't part of the deal. I arrive. You're still there, where I left you. I brought you a beer and some wax for your board and a guitar pick, even though you play better without one. I already went and saw Mikey and Mark. I save you for last. That's the way it is. You were the last to go. And this is the way it always ends. Here, It always ends like this. And I will end up here too. But I didn't know you'd end up here so soon. Here's your beer. I'll pour it in the grass for you. I'll put this bar of surf wax on top of your gravestone. The guitar pick next to it. I read the words etched in that white granite rock. Seth A. Stone. Commander, U.S. Navy, Afghanistan, Iraq. September 17th, 1976, September 30th, 2017. Silver Star with oak leaf cluster. Bronze Star medal with valor. Faithful warrior. Faithful warrior. I always tell everyone to carry on. To mourn, but not to dwell. But now, I'm dwelling myself. And I know I shouldn't. You know I shouldn't. I've thought long and hard about it. And I was going to say goodbye. But I'm not going to say it. There's no need. You're still with me. You're in the ocean and in the sky and in the earth beneath my feet. You're still with me. And I'm good with that. Here's one more thing you wrote. I fought the enemy as good as I could. I lost myself, but in doing so, I found myself. It is a path. You have to work your own one out. It is a struggle. I have listened to the truth. I am humbled and mystified by this life we live. That's what you said. And I will tell you this, my brother. I am humbled and mystified by this life too. And I am going to keep on living it. I can't stop the sunsets and I can't bring them back, but I can make them count. And that is what I am going to do. I am going to keep on living. and I am going to make it count. So, here we are. And speaking of living life and trying to make it count, we're doing this gig here tonight. We are live.
We are. Yeah.
Yeah. All the people that have reached out to me over the last few years, that were able to overcome some tough situation because of the podcast. And it's the same with me. The same lessons that we've learned from the podcast, from books, from having people on. It's the same. We get the benefit of too. I get the benefit of that too. And here we are.
Here we are.
Thanks for coming. Echo Charles, thanks for pressing record.
And stop, by the way. You gotta, it's a whole thing.